Welcome to Let's Grow. I'm Linda Kelly, owner and founder of the Kelly Mental Health Foundation, and I'm here today with Cassandra Nordal. We're shaking things up a little bit. We're going to do some conversations just about what to expect over the winter holidays, particularly with regard to mental health. And so one of the topics that we were talking about as we began kind of coming up with a list was, why in the world are holiday traditions so important? So, Cassandra, now you had some ideas about this, and I think we had a little bit of maybe even a disagreement, because some people really value family traditions or holiday traditions, some really don't. But what were your thoughts about why are they important, and how do we make them meaningful?
I think basically the overall traditions are super important just because they kind of bring us closer to our family. Even for myself, like being single, I still have my own personal traditions. So they're just always been really important for me personally. So I just kind of enjoy them. It's just nice, and it's just, they always have some kind of meaning behind them. So I think a lot of people just kind of resonate with them, and it just kind of brings them closer, whether it's to Christmas or the holiday season, or even Thanksgiving or even Easter. I think they just kind of come together, and it brings us together, especially right now in a time like this. The COVID times, it's super difficult. So it's just kind of nice. I'm all for them.
So what kind of traditions would you say that you do?
So every Christmas Eve, I basically decorate the tree. I have two felines at home, so I hang out with them. I put on one of my favorite holiday movies called The Holiday. And I make hot chocolate. I do eggnog. It's just kind of a day for me. And I don't spend it with family. I never have. It's just kind of, I lived in Calgary for a while, so I kind of had to make my own traditions. And yeah, it's just something I look for. I look forward more to Christmas Eve than Christmas Day. And I know it sounds weird, but yeah, it's just quiet. It's nice and it's cozy, and yeah.
So you don't decorate your tree till the Christmas Eve?
No, I did one year, and it was weird. I did do it earlier. I just actually started celebrating Christmas again this is now my third year. I took some time off. My mom passed away. So that was another moment for me. Traditions changed completely for me. I used to love them. We had a lot of traditions as kids growing up. But, unfortunately we had a passing of my mom, and so I just didn't want to celebrate as much. So I think that's kind of how I created my own private, tradition, and it's just kind of stuck with me. And so yeah, the last 3 years have been great, and I get together with my family. This year it's a little hard. I don't have a big family, but due to COVID, we have to kind of, make adjustments, as everyone knows. So, yeah.
Well, in our family, I guess the tradition aspect is a little bit different, because it's basically the way that Christmas has always gone has been decided by a few people. They know who they are.
Yeah.
So then sometimes it can be less meaningful if you don't really have a hand in what the tradition is, or if you've ever had a problem with the tradition. Like for me, I don't necessarily like when traditions are all about food.
Yes.
My family, it's all about food, right? We love our food. We take pictures of our food.
Yeah. I don't have time. I don't know how people do this. Right? For me, I'm like, I see the food, I'm like, let's go. Yeah. But everyone's different.
But at the same time, if you think about it from a mental health perspective, if you're just going through the year, you don't have time to take a breath, having this holiday tradition, something to look forward to, is a way of sort of switching things up. It's like, okay, I'm going to put everything else on hold. I'm going to take a deep breath. And then there's this sense of maybe connection to the past, the connection to the people that are no longer with us, so the people that used to be here for this thing that we used to do. One of the things that we used to do, I read it in a book and then I started doing it when I was really little, was laying underneath the tree and looking up.
Oh, fun.
And just looking at the Christmas lights and just thinking about it, and reflecting. And it's the reflection part. I suppose that would be my tradition. End of the year, you have to reflect, and that's what just kind of makes me feel more grounded, more settled, and prepared for the next year to come. So it's maybe less about connection with family so much as connection with myself.
So you mentioned the other day, Linda, that you're kind of excited for this year because of the traditions, and you're changing it up, and you're excited to kind of spend it with, your smaller family and just kind of start new traditions. So can you talk a little bit about that and what about it makes you so excited?
Okay, so I have a son from a previous relationship. And then, of course, I have a new marriage. And so Christmas for the last couple of years has been dinner with this family, dinner with this family, dinner with our friends, dinner with the,
So busy.
I'm so tired of dinners. and I kind of have issues with the things that I eat. I kind of eat a certain way, and that's not always acceptable around the holidays. Everyone's like, oh, just eat, eat, live a little. No.
Yeah.
So
it's that pressure almost, right?
So much. I mean, I don't need that many potatoes.
Well, I do, but to each their own.
but at the same time, for Thanksgiving, for the first time, it was just the three of us and our dogs, and we went out hunting.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't find anything, but we walked together, and it was quiet, and there were no screens, and it was really nice. It was this moment to just go, here we are connected, and I will remember this now. Whereas sometimes with all these dinner traditions, it just gets to be too much. So, like I said, having a hand in creating your own tradition, I think really makes a big difference.
Yeah. I think you make a really good point with that. Yeah. I think that's the thing to take from it is that if you do have traditions, that's wonderful, and if you don't, that's okay too, right?
Yeah. You do you.
You do you. Yeah.
So ultimately, traditions can be so wonderful in terms of creating that sense of connection, whether it's with yourself, with others, grounding yourself, finding a sense of peace. You don't have to have them, but if you can take a hand in them, then it does help. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.